Yo, Chucky Old School with the new True Pentown story. This one's going to be the Adidas Concord Gimbals Gallery incident. The Adidas Concord Gimbals Gallery incident. All right, so it's 1986, and I'm standing on 7th and Fairmount in Pentown. Right here, see this? See this right here? It used to be a chain here where cars couldn't go through. But me, Brock, rest in peace, Brock, and Mellow Mark were standing here on the chain like we did most days. We just stood there. So Brock says, "Yo, now I found a great record. I got this record in the mail, like this."
Hey,
He
yo,
didn't say
I got a
that.
great new album in the mail
He
today.
said, "Yo, I found a credit card." So in 1986, I wasn't the streetwise person that I am now. So the first thing that came to my mind when Brock said that was like when my mom always said, if you find a wallet, put it in the mailbox. So I said, did you put it in the mail? Did you put the credit card in the mailbox? So Mark and Brock look at each other and look at me and just laugh. And Brock goes, nah, I didn't put it in the mailbox. We gonna use that, John. So at the time, 1980, it was 86. Gimbals had, I don't know if they had a surplus or whatever. They had their light blue 3/4 Adidas Concords, patent leather, kind of like these right here. I mean, these are kind of re-imaged, but they were kind of like this, and they were selling them for $25. So everybody had them Jones, everybody. So Brock said, so I said to Brock, I'm like, well, how you gonna use your credit card? He said, I wrote a note, and you know about how Epstein on Welcome Back, Kotter, this guy right here, used to always have a note to get out of something, any kind of note. Well, Brock had written a note and he showed it to us, and it was like, to whom it may concern, my son and his friends, I authorized my son and his friends' use of this credit card. So I'm 15 years old, so I'm thinking that's got to work. He's got a note. So the gallery was a 15-minute walk from Pentown. Where we lived, 7th and Fairmount, the gallery was a 15-minute walk. So we walk downtown. We go into the Gimbals, we get the sneakers, we try them on. Yeah, you gonna get them? Yeah, I'm getting, so we geek because we figure we about to get them. So then the chick says, y'all want them? And Brock's like, yeah, we'll take all three. So he goes up to the counter and he hands her the credit card. So me and Marky, we just stand there, we talking, we're not even paying it no mind. So as an adult now, I know it don't take that long for somebody to get your credit card. Even back then, where you used to have that machine, like you see this machine right here, they used to do it like that for you youngins who were watching. They used to swipe the credit card like that. So it didn't even then it didn't take that long. So we didn't notice. But now that I know now, the chick started stalling. So she must have, when she ran that card, it must have came up stolen right away, or lost or reported, inactive or whatever. So we don't notice that she's stalling us. So we just walking around, we talking, we doing, we doing, what 15-year-old kids do. We just talking and we just bullshitting. So it dawned on Brock first. Brock must have caught her or something. He walked over to us. He's like, "Yo, y'all, we about to get out of here. I think they know the car is lost or stolen." So I'm like, really? So now I'm getting scared because I'm like, what's going to happen? So Brock's like, don't turn around and run. Just, start, just slowly make your way toward the exit. So we backing up. We're not turning around. We just talking and we backing up and we backing up and we backing up. And right when you can hear the people in the gallery, because it used to be wide open to the gallery. So we about maybe 2 steps from there, and that just as we about to turn and walk out, the three security dudes walk up behind us, kind of like this, and they grip us up, like, "Yo, coming with us." So Brock's like, "What we do?" He's like, "You know what you did." So then they took us into the back. So we sitting back there for I don't know how long we sitting back there. So I'm thinking after a while, Brock was like, they're not going to do nothing else. We kids. They just going, send us on our way and tell, whatever. So I'm thinking, cool, we good. That turns into an hour. Next thing you know, Cops come. So cops come and they take us to the district. I forget what district it was, closest to the gallery. So they take us there. So they getting our name and our information, and they saying they asked, "Where'd you get the card?" I like, I don't know. We found it on our way up here. Now I knew to say that. I wasn't streetwise, but I knew to say. I knew not to say, "Well, Brock had it." I knew not to say Mark had it. I knew not to say I had it. I said, "Oh, we just found it. We picked it up. We came in here." So they asked each one of us, and we all said the same thing. Because when we put us back in the holding room, Brock was like, "What you tell him?" I said, "We found it on the way up here." Brock said, "That's what I told him." Mark said, "That's what I told him." So the security guard comes in. I mean, not security. The police dude comes in, and he's like, "How?" So he's like, "Your name, your date of birth, and all that kind of stuff." He's like, "All right, well, call your moms or call your parents." So I'm thinking, I'd rather stay in jail because I knew how my mom was going to be. She was going to flip. So next thing you know, this dude walks in, tall, heavy-set, light-skinned dude comes in, and he was like, "That's them." So I'm like, he walks over to us. He was like, "Yeah, yeah. What's the matter with y'all? Why would y'all try that? Why would y'all do that? I work hard for my money. This, that, and that." So he's lecturing us. So we all just sitting there, and we just sitting there like how Lamont, Rollo, and Fred right here. See how they looking, and they just we not trying to hear any of that. So he was like, "And I just left some badass kids like y'all." And I'm like, "What are he talking about?" So apparently this dude worked at the Youth Study Center. Remember the Youth Study Center? He worked there. Cause I couldn't understand how come the dude whose credit card is, why is he back here with us? They never called people down there for that. He knew the cops because he worked at the Youth Study Center. So they must have called him and he came down. And so they asked him, "You gonna press charges?" He was like, "Nah, just set them home with their parents." And he was like, "If I see y'all again, don't let me see y'all, especially I don't let me see y'all up at the Youth Study Center." So our moms came and got us. We get home. So as soon as I walk in, my mom was like, "Yeah, go get your TV." Because whenever I got in trouble, she would take the TV out my room. Go get your TV, bring it in here. And she was like, "What were you thinking?" I was like, what do you think I said? I was like, I didn't really know what was going on. She's like, "So you didn't know that car wasn't Brian's? You didn't know that you didn't have that car?" So I'm like, wasn't nothing I could say. So she was like, "The next time the police call me, you might as well stay there because I ain't coming to get you." And a couple years later, if you already told y'all about the silver chain incident down South Street. So she did come and get me. So I'm glad she did that. But she was like, "I ain't coming to get you. Next time you just gonna stay behind in there." So I was on punishment. I want to say 3 weeks, maybe even a month. I didn't get my TV back for a month. So I couldn't go outside for like 2 weeks, but I didn't get my TV back for a month. So I ain't do that no more. So I wasn't in on credit cards no more. So that is the Adidas Concord patent leather gallery gimbals incident. Chucky Old School out.